Hi, and welcome to today's episode, which is going to come entirely from the studio. We're not going anywhere cold where we need to wear thermals. It's all in the studio today. So, this episode has been requested by a viewer, and thank you for the question. They have asked about the bulk film loading, which I had discussed in the Avebury Circle episode. And they wanted to know how to do it, what they need. So what I thought we'd do is go through the whole process from buying the film, buying a bulk roll of 35mm film, through to putting it in the canister and actually loading it into the back of the camera. So very straightforward, but there's a process to it. It's not too scary. You just got to be careful, and there's going to be areas where you will need to be in total and utter darkness. So either you're in a completely dark room, or you're using a changing bag where you put your arms in and you do everything in the changing bag. Everything's done by touch. But I'll tell you when you have to turn the light off and when you turn the light back on. Everything I do today will be in the daylight, because I have a bulk roll of film which was exposed to light donkeys years ago, and it serves the purpose of demonstrating everything I'm going to do in the daylight. So don't panic about me opening this in the daylight. It's an exposed piece of film, it won't matter. But most importantly is, and as it says on the box, open in darkroom only. Do not open this box in the light and take the bag out. Otherwise, you have wasted your money. It's gone. So please be sure not to open the box other than in a completely dark room or in a changing bag. So what we have here in front of me are the constituent parts of everything. So you will need a bulk roll of film, Ilford, Kentmere, whatever. You will need some sellotape. You will need the bulk film loader. And the parts of this are the loader itself with the frame counter on it, the gate which allows the film to pass through and makes it all light tight. Then there's a lock that goes on top of the gate which goes on like that. And then you have the lid where you place your films in that area there, and then the lid will go over it when you're loading the film on. So those are the parts of that. You will need a pair of scissors, obviously, to cut the film, and then you will need your cassette, which you can buy off eBay or Amazon, and you put the film onto the little reel there, and that's the cap which seals it from light, and then you're ready to load into the camera. So those are the constituent parts we need to do the job. So what we're going to do next is I'm going to take the film out of this box. When you do it, you're doing it in complete and utter darkness, in the changing bag or in the darkroom. So everything I do from now on, you'll be doing in the dark. So this is how it'll come packed. It'll be in a black bag like this, and you'll take it out of the black bag, and that'll be your bulk roll of film. Now, the bulk roll of film will have a piece of tape across here. It'll be mostly a little white band, but you won't notice it until but you need to take that off. This is all in the darkness, complete darkness, in the bag or in the darkroom. And what's going to happen is this piece of film is going to go on that spool there. So literally, you're going to take the film and you're going to place it on the spool, like that. Just like a film camera, a movie camera. It's exactly the same principle. Movie cameras have gates, just like this has gates, and you'll pass it through. So what we're going to do now is you take the film, and again in complete darkness, you get the end of the film and you push it through the gate. So it'll come out. So you notice what I'm doing here. You can see it going through the gate there. I'm pushing it through and it comes out here. So pull it through like that. So basically you have the film now, as you can see, going through, off the roll, through the gate and out the other end. That's that part done. And then you take this bit here. I'll just take that back out there a second because that goes on last. You take where the film passes through here, that is where this gate's going to go over the film, so they have to line up. So you feel for where the gate is, and you're going to put that over so that it slips over the film like that. So, and if you can't do it any other way because of the film. Say you brought the gate over to there, the film, which is here, so film is coming through there. If you push it anywhere else other than over the gate, so if I go that way, the film is stopping you pushing it down. So you literally, when it goes down, it's over the film. You're fine. You're safe. So basically, now what we have is the film inside the container. You then need to take this lock and just screw it on in place like that. Just hand tight. Now, what you're going to do next is this bit here rotates. So here you've got an arrow. Is an arrow here. The arrow's there. And you have two arrows here. You have an arrow which says to insert cassette and another arrow to load film. So the most important thing is to get this right. So basically, what we're doing now, we're locking this round to insert cassette, because that is going to close the gate. And the gate is locked into place by this lever. So when that lever's open to allow you to load film in here, the gate is closed and no light can leak down in here. So your film inside here is safe. So, and then when that is locked in that place there, like that, the lever's there, you can't rotate this. It's locked at that point there. So that arrow, so it says to insert cassette, line those two arrows up. And then it is safe to open this because there's no light leaking down into there. So there you have it. That is now the film safely loaded in to the bulk film holder. So the next part we're going to do is I'm going to actually use my bulk film holder, which featured on the Avebury Circle episode, which has currently got this box of FP4 in it. And because I need to load another, because I use 2 rolls, I have 5 of these spools, and I loaded 3 of them, so I'll load up another one ready to go on another adventure in a future episode. But what we're going to do now, so we're going to dispense with this a second. So that's how you load this here. And now we'll go on to loading the film cassette into here and winding the film on. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we're going to load the film onto a spool. You need the tape, the scissors, and the 3 parts of the reel and a dispenser. So, just so you know where we are, we're currently in the locked position. So the gate on here is closed. So you can see here the arrows are lined up and the gate is closed. So it is safe to open up this here. The lever is locked in place. The cam here is locked in place. You can now open this up. And I'll open this up and it'll reveal the film leader. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put the spool on the film leader. So for that, we need to have a bit of tape. So I'm just going to get scissors out of the way. Let's get a piece of tape. And just going to put that there. So we'll put a piece of tape on the film, like so. Make sure it's stuck down properly so it's nice and tight. You're then going to take it reel here, and you're going to lay the film on top like that. So you can see what's going on there. And then it's going to wrap the film around the back end. So if I just tilt that way, you can see where the film is here. And it's going to bend it round so it sort of goes around the top end and then sticks towards the back. So if I just show you the back there, it doesn't matter how it particularly goes on, as long as it's sort of roughly square. And then you can wind itself on then. So it's now stuck to the film on both sides. It's stuck here and it's stuck there. And the film is over the top of that reel here. The best way of looking at this is that effectively, I'm going to bring in the camera a second because I think it's useful for people to understand this. So if I put the loader here, if I put a film back there, so if I just show you the film back, let's put those out of the way a second, excuse me. So there's the film back, there's the film, there's the loader. It's in exactly the same orientation you would load the film. So doing exactly the same thing. If I can show you this, you'll see that the spool is here, and that would sit in there, and the film goes the same way. So hopefully that clarifies what's going on here. So imagine this the same as the film back, and then you'll get the orientation of the film right. The film goes that way, it goes that way, you're seeing the same thing. I'm hoping that makes some sense. Just think of them as mirrors of each other. They're exactly the same. They're in parallel. They're the same. Let's put that to one side a second. So now what we're going to do, we're going to take this part here, and you can see where you've got see the hole? And the film is going to pass through here. So what we're going to do, I'm going to put this on its side a second so we can see how the film is going to pass through. So what we're going to do, you see, I'm going to put the film through this part here. So put the film through the gap, and the film slides on, and it just sits. You see what's happening? It sits in there. And then we're going to get this bit, and that, if you can see, is going to lock rotate it till it locks. I'm going to bring that in a bit more detail. You see how that now sits. So now what we can do, so I just put it that way, this bit's on a spring. And as you saw, the film just slots in. That then springs on the end. Now this bit will, exactly like the take-up, again, we're doing exactly the same thing. It's the same orientation. You can see what's going on here. So that then, you can see it. You can see now we've caught to be able to wind the film in. You can see how the film is becoming taut and slack. And that's how we want now, if I move the camera out of the way, this is how it all sits in. So just to recap, that's the bottom, that's where the protruding bit of the film canister is. And now what we're going to do, we're going to take this lid here and we're going to push it back into there like that. So that's where we're at now. At this point, the film is safely in there. This is now light tight, and what we're going to do, the very, very important thing we're going to do, is we're going to push this lever down to here to lock this from coming up. And then what we're going to do, we're going to open the gate. So we're going to go from this position to this position. So if I just go there, you can see it's locked. The lid is sealed, locked. And we're going to go to insert cassette, which is what we've just done. We're going to now go to load film. So it rotates. Now, this can't be opened because the cam has moved from there to there. You can see the little notch there. Can you see a little notch there? So this now can't be opened. Obviously, don't try and force it because it could be if you forced it. But that's now locked. That's your safety. And now we're in the to load film position. The arrows line up. Now what we're going to do, the gate is open and the film is free to run onto the spool. So what we're going to do, you can this knob here sets your exposures, how many exposures you want on the roll. You can see you can go, let's go that way on that way, so I'll just show it to you. It's the right way up. Sometimes it's a bit tough to So what we're going to do, we're going to take it back to 0. So there's a 0. So the arrow here has lined up to the 0 point. Yep. So you can see you're on the load film position. The counter is on the 0 point. This is in the lock position. Now what we're going to do is quite simply hold that there. Get your hands steady. That's pushed into the film. The gate is open. And now we can wind on and load the film into the cassette. And what you'll notice as you wind, this will click round. And each click is obviously a frame. And we'll take it round to 36. Now, bear in mind, so just bear in mind here now, unlike boxed film, here you've effectively exposed the end of the film. And that's important to know, because if you go to the very end of the film, then most probably the last frame you shoot will be fogged because you've attached the film to the inside of the reel. So bear that in mind. If you load 36 on a roll, I would suggest you only take 34 images, because 35 and 36 definitely will be fogged because you've exposed it here. Because you load, unlike a normal box roller film where you could go all the way to the 36 and it would be fine. So bear that in mind. So what we're going to do now is wind on. So if I bring that to there and I'll wind on, and you'll see it click round. And you'll notice as I go round, see, that's why you need to hold this here, because then it stops it popping out. So we're going to go round until the arrow points to 36. That's 35, 36. And then you could do a bit more to get a full 36 exposures. You could go to maybe 38, so you know that frames 37 and 38 will be fogged, but you still got your 36 exposures. So you could go to, but obviously you might get a few less frames on the roll, reels loading from the bulk. But nevertheless, it's entirely up to you. So now you can see we're at here, 38. So now the film has gone from there through onto the reel. So now what you have to do is come back here. You have to close the gate. Very important, close the gate. So now we're back to insert cassette alignment. This then can open. It locks the gate. You can see it's locked the gate here back into the cam there. And now you can open the top. So here you can open the top. It's safe. You've gone back to insert cassette. You've locked the gate. The gate is closed. No light can come in. And now you can open up this. And now all that film is within that reel. So it's all neat and tidy in that reel. And what you need to do now is take out the reel. So you need to pull that out, undo that. I generally get the scissors and literally gently lift the film out like that. Everything is locked in position. It's sealed. And now what you can do is cut the film out. So now you have your piece of film ready. So now we can put the lid back on our film loader and lock it back into place. So it's all fine. So everything here now, the gate is closed, everything's ready to go for your next roll of film. So the next thing we'll do now is just cut the leader. So we'll just cut out a leader. So what you need to do now is just pull out, I don't know, about that much film, that's fine. Just like a normal piece of film. And what we're going to do, and I sort of practice at this roughly, but you start cutting and you go there, around, and around. And then you have your leader. So there's your bulk piece of film loaded into the spool. Now, straightforward, back of the camera, so we'll just turn the cameras on. So now the film goes in the back of the camera, as you normally would do. Like that. Pull the leader across to your start position. Make sure you don't put any pressure on the center of the film, because that's where your shutter is, and you'll damage your shutter if you press there. Don't press there. Just bring it across, but you know, I'm saying it, I'm sure you all know, but I'm just saying, don't put any pressure there. And then close. And when you close on this particular camera, it'll wind on. And you're now ready to shoot. Very straightforward. Now, this particular camera's got DX coding, where you've got the bar sort of chart on the barcode on the film cassette. Obviously, these cassettes don't have that barcode. So what you have to set your ISO manually. And in this case, I'm using FP4, so it's 125 ISO, so I will set my ISO manually. So always bear that in mind. It doesn't have barcoding. You need to set your ISO manually if you have a camera that does DX coding. And that is how you use a bulk film loader. Hopefully that was clear. It's awkward to demonstrate it because there's so many fiddly bits. But the most important thing is that you load it from the box into the film cassette holder in the dark. And everything is either in a changing bag or in the dark. Once it's loaded safely in there and the gate is closed, then you're good to go with loading the spool and get it into the camera. So hopefully as you can see, it's a fairly straightforward thing. It's not particularly demanding, but I think I've covered all the stages there and little minutiae. If there's anything you're not clear on, please leave a comment and I will get back to you and try and help if I can. And yeah, if you shoot regularly and you're using several rolls of film a month, then the investment in the film loader and bulk film is a good investment, and you'll certainly recover the costs quickly, and then you'll be into profit. If you're using a few rolls a year, don't do it. Don't bother. It's not worth the effort. It's just, you just carry on as you are buying the film. But it's another area of analog film shooting, which is an interesting one. It's fun to do, and it's always nice knowing you've got all these rolls of film waiting for you. Because generally, because it's quite expensive. Obviously film is expensive, and it costs a lot of money. So, okay, any questions? As I said, leave them below, and I hope it's been helpful. In the meantime, now you take care. Looking forward to the next episode. Not too sure what that's going to be yet, but we'll certainly be using FP4. I'll be using up my FP4 on the in the bulk film holder, and see what we get there. Anyway, you take care, and see you soon. Cheerio.